Grace knelt beside her without a word, her steady hands unfolding the paper with the care of someone piecing together a broken mosaic. "This is beautiful, Lily," she said softly, her American accent cutting through the downpour like a lifeline. "It shows a love that doesn't fade, no matter where life takes us." And just like that, in the dim glow of the classroom lamp, my world tilted, because Grace wasn't just consoling my child, she was handing me back a piece of my own shattered heart. I never thought moving to Spain would feel like coming home, but Seville had a way of wrapping you in its chaos and beauty until you couldn't imagine leaving. It was the summer of 2024 when my ex-husband's affair blew up our life in Austin like a Texas thunderstorm, sudden, violent, and leaving nothing but wreckage. I'd packed up Lily and our dreams of forever into 2 suitcases and a rental car, chasing whispers of adventure and anonymity across the Atlantic. Spain will fix us, I told myself, scrolling through expat forums late at night, ignoring the ache in my throat. But 6 months in, with the divorce papers still echoing in my inbox and Lily's questions about daddy piling up like unpaid bills, I was unraveling faster than a cheap sombrero. The International School of Andalusia was supposed to be our anchor, a bilingual haven for expat kids where Lily could learn Spanish while I pieced together freelance graphic design gigs from our tiny apartment overlooking the Guadalquivir River. It was there, on a sticky September morning, that I first met Grace Ellis. She was Lily's 3rd-grade teacher, the kind of woman who made the room brighter just by walking into it. Mid-30s, with that effortless California glow, sun-kissed skin, auburn waves that fell just past her shoulders, and hazel eyes that seemed to hold entire sunsets. She wore flowy blouses and linen skirts that whispered against the stone floors, and her laugh. It was like the strum of a flamenco guitar, warm and unapologetic. Our first parent-teacher conference was in the school's courtyard, under the shade of orange trees heavy with fruit. Lily had been acting out tantrums in the playground, refusing to speak Spanish during circle time, and I showed up exhausted, my blonde hair a frizzy mess from the humidity, dark circles under my blue eyes that no amount of concealer could hide. "She's just processing," I stammered, twisting the hem of my sundress. Grace leaned forward, her elbows on the scarred wooden table, and fixed me with a gaze that felt like she could see straight through to the divorce decree crumpled in my purse. "Gracie," she said, using the nickname from my name tag without asking, "kids like Lily aren't broken, they're brave. You've both been through hell, and showing up here. That's the win." It was the first time in months anyone had called me by that old pet name, Gracie, the girl who'd once danced barefoot at Austin bonfires, carefree and whole. Her voice lingered in my mind long after I left, a soft echo against the cathedral bells tolling in the distance. As weeks blurred into the rhythm of siestas and tapas runs, Grace became more than a teacher. She'd slip extra empanadas into Lily's lunchbox, drawn with little notes, for the bravest artist in Seville. Or she'd text me photos of Lily's latest masterpiece, a watercolor of the Alcazar Gardens, vibrant and alive, captioned, "Your girl's got fire." I started lingering after pickup, chatting about everything and nothing, the best churros in Triana, how the flamenco shows made her cry every time, the way Andalusian sunsets painted the sky in impossible pinks. One evening, after a particularly grueling day of client revisions that left me questioning my entire career, I found myself at a small cafe near the school, nursing a café con leche as the sun dipped behind the Giralda Tower. Grace appeared like she'd been conjured from my thoughts, her tote bag slung over one shoulder, a stack of graded papers peeking out. "Mind if I join the pity party?" she asked, sliding into the chair across from me with a grin that crinkled the corners of her eyes. We talked for hours, about her move from San Francisco 5 years ago, chasing a grant to teach immigrant kids art therapy, about my failed marriage to a man who'd promised the stars but delivered only alimony checks. "I thought love was supposed to be easy," I confessed, tracing the rim of my cup. "Like in those indie films, all longing glances and mixtapes." Grace reached across the table, her fingers brushing mine, just a feather-light touch, but it sent a spark up my arm, warm and unfamiliar. "Love's messy, Gracie. It's the kind that sneaks up on you in a rainstorm and changes everything." That night, as I tucked Lily into bed, humming an old Lucinda Williams tune, I couldn't shake the way Grace's laugh had wrapped around me like a shawl. It was innocent, I told myself, just two American women adrift in Spain, finding solace in shared stories. But deep down, in the quiet spaces where doubt usually lived, something stirred. A possibility. A what if? Fall deepened, and Seville transformed into a tapestry of amber leaves and harvest festivals. Lily started opening up in class, her drawings evolving from jagged family portraits to joyful scenes of us three, me, her, and a faceless woman with auburn hair holding a paintbrush. Grace noticed, of course. During the Feria de Abril prep, when the school buzzed with kids in polka-dot dresses practicing sevillanas, she pulled me aside in the gym, the air thick with the scent of fresh flowers and anticipation. "Gracie, I wanted to say, you're doing an incredible job," she said, her cheeks flushing under the fluorescent lights. "Lily talks about you like you're her hero. And honestly, watching you too, it makes me believe in second chances." Her words hung between us, heavy with unspoken layers. I swallowed hard, my heart thudding like the distant drumbeat of a flamenco troupe. "Grace, thank you. For seeing us. For everything." In that moment, with the laughter of children echoing around us, I leaned in, just a fraction, and our lips brushed. It was tentative, a question more than a statement, tasting of espresso and unspoken fears. She pulled back first, her eyes wide with a mix of wonder and worry. "Gracie," she whispered, "this us. It's complicated." But the way she said it, soft and laced with hope, made me think maybe, just maybe, complicated was worth it. We didn't label it at first. It was stolen moments, a walk along the river at dusk, her hand slipping into mine as we watched street performers juggle fire, lazy Sundays at her apartment in the Barrio Santa Cruz, where she'd teach Lily to mix paints while I sketched lazy portraits of them both, the afternoon light filtering through lace curtains. Grace's place was a haven, walls lined with canvases of abstract emotions, shelves groaning under books on Frida Kahlo and Audre Lorde. She'd read aloud from The House on Mango Street, her voice weaving magic, and I'd catch myself staring, mesmerized by the curve of her neck, the way her fingers danced over the pages. "Your trouble, Gracie Malone," she'd tease, tossing a pillow at me during movie nights, rom-coms flickering on her ancient TV. But there was depth beneath the playfulness. Grace had her own ghosts, a partner back in San Francisco who'd left her for a safer life, citing family pressures and unspoken homophobia. "I came here to heal," she admitted one night, curled against me on her worn velvet couch, the city humming outside. "But you make me want to build something real." I felt it too, the slow bloom of love, tender and fierce. It was in the way she'd surprise Lily with tickets to the puppet shows at the Alcazar, watching my daughter's face light up like she'd hung the moon. Or how she'd hold me after nightmares about the divorce, whispering, "You're safe here. We're safe." For the first time since Austin, I wasn't just surviving, I was alive, my heart cracking open to let in the light. But Spain, for all its romance, couldn't shield us from the world's sharp edges. Winter crept in with biting winds off the Sierra Morena, and with it came the first cracks. My ex, Tom, started pushing for more custody time, his emails laced with veiled threats. "Lily needs a father figure, not some expat fantasy." I brushed it off at first, but doubt festered. Was I dragging Lily into uncertainty? Was loving Grace selfish? Then came the betrayal, not from her, but from the one person I'd trusted most. My best friend from Austin, Sarah, visited in December, her suitcase stuffed with Tex-Mex spices and unsolicited advice. Over sangria at a taberna in the Jewish Quarter, she cornered me, "Gracie, this fling with the teacher. It's adorable, but come on. Lily needs stability. Go back to Tom, at least he's familiar." I laughed it off, but her words burrowed deep, a poison seeping into our fragile peace. Grace sensed the shift. During a holiday market stroll, amid twinkling lights and the scent of roasted chestnuts, she stopped under a garland-draped archway. "Talk to me," she urged, her hazel eyes searching mine. I confessed Sarah's meddling, the gnawing fear that I was failing Lily. It's not you, I insisted, but tears betrayed me. She cupped my face, thumbs brushing away the salt. Love isn't failure, Gracie. It's the bravest thing we do. Yet the storm brewed. Tom's lawyer contacted the school, digging for concerns about my lifestyle, code for my budding relationship with Grace. Whispers rippled through the expat community, the single mom and the teacher, too close for comfort. Grace's principal called her in, a stern Spanish woman with a clipboard and zero patience for distractions. Focus on the children, Señorita Ellis, she warned. Grace came home shaken, her usual fire dimmed. They're saying I'm biased toward Lily. That it's unprofessional. I wanted to fight, march into that office, demand they see the good we were building. But fear paralyzed me. What if Tom used this to take Lily away? What if I lost everything again? The breaking point came on a gray January afternoon, the kind where Seville's skies weep endlessly. Lily had a meltdown during art class, hurling paints at the wall in a scream of, "I hate this place. I want Daddy." Grace handled it with her trademark grace, cleaning up the mess, drawing with her until the sobs subsided. But when I arrived for pickup, the principal was there, arms crossed, Lily's drawing clutched like evidence. "Mrs. Malone," she said in clipped English, "we must discuss boundaries. Miss Alice's involvement with your family is inappropriate." Grace stood silent beside her, face pale, eyes downcast. Betrayal hit like a slap, not from Grace, but from the system we'd trusted. I scooped up Lily, storming out into the rain, Grace's unanswered text burning in my pocket. "Please, let me explain." That night, alone in our apartment, Lily asleep with her thumb in her mouth, I confronted the truth. Sarah had leaked it all, my confidences, twisted into ammunition for Tom. A frantic call confirmed it. "I was protecting you, Gracie. This lesbian teacher thing. It's a phase. Go home." Her words sliced deeper than any knife, severing a friendship I'd clung to like a lifeline. Betrayed by blood, by choice, by love, I curled on the couch, sobs racking my body until dawn. Grace showed up at my door the next morning, soaked from the drizzle, a bouquet of wilting jasmine in her hands. "I didn't know about the complaint until it was filed," she said, voice breaking. "But I won't let them tear us apart. Gracie, I love you. Both of you." The words hung in the air, raw and real, the first time she'd said them aloud. I pulled her inside, our embrace fierce against the chill, but the damage lingered. "What if we lose Lily?" I whispered. She held me tighter. "Then we fight. Together." The months that followed were a whirlwind of lawyers and late-night strategy sessions, Seville's narrow streets our battlefield. Tom flew in, all polished suits and false charm, demanding supervised visits and moral assessments. Grace and I attended every meeting, hand in hand under the table, her quiet strength my anchor. Lily, bless her, drew us as warriors, stick figures with capes, battling dragons labeled sad. But the real war was internal. Doubts clawed at me. Was this love worth the pain? Grace confessed her own fears one evening on the rooftop of her building, the city sprawling below like a jeweled map. "I ran from heartbreak once," she admitted, wind tousling her auburn hair. "I won't run again. But if you're scared." I silenced her with a kiss, deep and desperate, tasting salt from our tears. "I'm terrified," I breathed. "But I'm yours." The climax unfolded in a stuffy courtroom in downtown Seville, the air thick with bureaucracy and unspoken judgments. Tom sat across the aisle, his lawyer droning about traditional values, painting me as unstable, Grace as a threat. Lily's guardian ad litem testified, her report a gut punch. The child expresses attachment to both parents, but the mother's entanglements raise concerns. Grace squeezed my hand, her palm slick with sweat. Then it was her turn. Grace took the stand, composed as ever, but her voice trembled with passion. "Gracie Malone isn't just Lily's mother, she's her world. And I'm honored to be part of that. Love like ours, messy, beautiful, unapologetic. It's what Lily deserves to grow up seeing. She spoke of the drawings, the laughter, the way Lily's eyes sparkled in our makeshift family. The judge, a stern woman with silver-streaked hair, leaned forward, her expression softening. "Señorita Ellis, you speak from the heart. Rare in these rooms." Tom's cross-examination tried to dismantle her, questions about her lifestyle, her influence on impressionable children. Grace didn't flinch. "My lifestyle. It's called living authentically. And if that's a crime, lock me up." The courtroom gasped. I bit back a laugh through tears. In that moment, I saw her fully, the warrior beneath the artist, the woman who'd mended us both. The verdict came 2 weeks later, joint custody, with Lily staying primarily with me, Tom's visits monitored. No mention of Grace, no barriers to our love. We celebrated that night on the banks of the Guadalquivir, fireworks bursting over the river for some forgotten saint's day. Lily danced between us, her pigtails flying, while Grace and I swayed slow, foreheads touching. "We did it," I murmured. She smiled, that sunset in her eyes. "No, Gracie." We began. Spring returned to Seville like an old friend, bougainvillea exploding in pinks and purples along the whitewashed walls. Lily thrived, her Spanish fluent, her art award-winning, her questions about daddy answered with gentle truths. Grace and I built a life thread by thread, weekend hikes in the Sierra Nevada, where we'd picnic under olive groves, quiet evenings cooking paella, Lily giggling as we burned the rice, stolen kisses in the shadow of the cathedral, where history whispered approval. Betrayal's scar faded, though Sarah's silence stung, a friendship lost to fear. But in its place bloomed something truer. Grace proposed on a whim one August morning, down on one knee in our kitchen, a ring fashioned from twisted silver wire she'd forged herself. "Marry me, Gracie," she said, "not because it's perfect, but because it's us." Lily cheered from the counter, flour-dusted hands clapping. I said yes through laughter and tears, the word tasting like freedom. 2 years on, as Lily enters 5th grade, still at that same school, now with Grace as assistant principal, we're a family, woven from American roots and Spanish soil. Tom visits civilly, his edges softened by time and a new partner who sends Lily postcards from Austin. And me? I can't stop thinking about that rainy day, the one act of kindness that cracked open my world. Grace tying Lily's shoelace, handing back my heart, it wasn't just compassion. It was the start of redemption, the quiet miracle of love finding its way home. In Seville's endless summers, where the sun sets late and the nights hum with possibility, we've learned that healing isn't linear. It's in the small graces, a shared glance across a crowded plaza, a child's drawing that captures the soul, a partner's hand in yours against the storm. And in that, we've found not just survival, but grace itself.